Hey, let's talk about something we all know but nobody really wants to admit. School taught us how to calculate the area of a triangle, label the parts of a cell, and memorize the presidents in order. But it taught almost nothing about how to be a functioning adult with bills, responsibilities, and money decisions that affect your entire future. I spent years learning math formulas that have not appeared once in real life. But when I got my first electric bill, I suddenly realized I was unprepared for the world I had been launched into. My name is Taryn Wild, and today I am breaking down 10 money lessons you should have learned in school, but absolutely did not. These lessons explain how money actually behaves in the real world, how your daily choices affect your long-term stability, and why so many adults feel like they missed an entire chapter of life training. If you enjoy getting educated without being bored out of your mind, subscribe and join the Wild Finance crew. Lesson 1. Your paycheck is not your income. Everyone remembers the moment they saw their first salary offer. You look at the number and think your life is about to level up. You start imagining what you can buy, where you will travel, and how much easier everything will be. Then reality arrives in the form of your first paycheck. The number is smaller, and not by a little. It is dramatically smaller. No one explained that there is a difference between gross income and net income. Gross income is the big, pretty number that companies put on job postings. Net income is what you actually receive. Between these two numbers live taxes, federal withholding, state withholding, Social Security contributions, retirement contributions, insurance premiums, and mysterious deductions that feel like they were invented solely to humble you. Schools could have shown us a sample paycheck. They could have explained why the government takes a portion, why employers withhold money for benefits, why your health plan costs more than expected, and how to read the codes on a pay stub. That information would have made the first month of adult life a lot less shocking. Instead, we learned how to draw geometric shapes. Useful for art class, not for survival. Lesson 2. You need an emergency fund far earlier than you think. Adulthood is a long parade of random events that interrupt your budget. Your car breaks down. Your pet gets sick. Your landlord suddenly raises your rent. Your dentist informs you that your teeth have decided to rebel. Appliances stop working when you least expect it. And none of these things care about your financial situation. Most adults learn the hard way that emergencies are not rare. They are guaranteed. They show up at inconvenient times and cost far more than you plan for. An emergency fund acts like a shock absorber. It gives you space to breathe. Without savings, even a small financial problem becomes a crisis. Schools could have said, "Hey kids, life gets messy, so it is smart to have some money set aside for unpredictable moments." They could have explained what unexpected expenses actually look like and how often they arrive. But instead, the message was simply, "Good luck out there." Lesson 3. Compound interest can build your wealth or quietly drain it. In school, compound interest was presented as a short chapter in a math workbook. A few equations, a few examples, and the class moved on. But in real life, compound interest is one of the most powerful forces affecting your finances. Here is what was never explained. Compound interest can work in your favor when you are building savings or investing, because your money grows on top of previously earned growth. Over long periods, the growth speeds up, even if the rate stays the same. But compound interest can also work against you when it comes to debt. If you owe money and do not pay it down, interest accumulates and gets added back into the balance. Then future interest is charged on the new larger balance. In other words, interest grows interest. That is great when you are growing money and terrible when you are owing money. Understanding this difference changes how you see every financial decision. But school focused only on the math problem, not the life impact. So most adults learn this through trial and error. Lesson 4. Budgeting is not punishment. Budgeting is clarity. Many people think budgeting means deprivation. They assume it means cutting everything fun out of their lives. But in reality, budgeting simply means being aware of where your money goes. That is all. It is not a punishment, it is information. When you budget, you can see patterns in your spending. You can see what costs more than you expected. You can see where money disappears without you noticing. That awareness alone can reduce stress. It can help you make decisions based on reality rather than assumptions. School could have walked us through the idea that tracking your own money is empowering. A short lesson about categories and monthly planning would have helped thousands of young adults avoid unnecessary confusion. Instead, we diagrammed sentences and hoped things would work themselves out. Lesson 5. Your friends influence your wallet more than your salary does. We talk about peer pressure in school, but only in terms of behavior, like smoking or drinking. No one mentions financial peer pressure, which is far more common and often more expensive. The people you spend time with affect your spending habits. If your friends love eating out, traveling spontaneously, buying new clothes, attending events, and upgrading their lifestyle often, it becomes normal for you too. That does not mean you cannot enjoy life, but it does mean your social environment influences your financial decisions. If you believe you are broke because your salary is too low, sometimes the real reason is that you have adopted the spending habits of people who might have more income than you. Understanding this early helps you avoid comparing yourself to others and making decisions that do not align with your reality. School never mentioned any of this. Not once. Lesson 6. Lifestyle creep is a hidden threat to financial stability. Lifestyle creep is the gradual increase in spending that happens when you start earning more money. You upgrade your apartment. You buy nicer clothes. You try new restaurants. You add subscriptions. You spend without much thought because you feel like you can afford it. The problem is, lifestyle upgrades tend to happen faster than income growth. You end up making more but still feeling broke. Many adults experience this without realizing it. They assume earning more will solve their problems, but the spending rises just as quickly. If someone had explained this early in life, young adults could have approached raises with more awareness. But lifestyle creep is almost never discussed in school, even though it affects nearly everyone. Lesson 7. Credit cards are tools that require understanding. A credit card is neither good nor bad. It is simply a tool. But like any tool, it can be used well or used poorly. If you pay attention to how credit works and make responsible choices, credit cards can offer travel rewards, cashback bonuses, fraud protection, and convenience. But if you ignore balances, let interest accumulate, or treat credit as free money, the consequences build quickly. School could have explained interest rates, minimum payments, billing cycles, and credit scores. A simple rundown of how balances grow would have prevented many adults from waking up one day to balances they never expected. Instead, most people learn through painful experience because the information was never taught. Lesson 8. Many people are financially stressed even if they seem fine. Social media creates illusions. People show the highlights rather than the truth. You see people with new phones, new cars, nice outfits, and expensive vacations. You assume they have everything figured out. You assume you are behind. But the truth is, many of those people are just as stressed as you are. Some have no savings. Some are in debt. Some are using credit to maintain an image. School never taught us how common financial anxiety is. Knowing you are not alone can reduce shame and help you make better decisions without comparing yourself to curated versions of other people's lives. Lesson 9. Investing is not the risky part. Ignoring investing is the risky part. Investing looks intimidating when you first hear about it because the focus is often on graphs and predictions. But long-term investing is not about predicting anything. It is about giving your money time to grow. For most people, the real danger is waiting too long. Time is the main factor that increases financial growth. When you delay for years, you reduce the time available to benefit from growth. School could have explained that small, consistent actions over time create results. Instead, investing is presented as something complicated that only experts understand. This makes many adults avoid it altogether, which is the real risk. Lesson 10. Your future self is affected by every choice you make today. Imagine the future version of you watching your financial decisions. Every purchase, every delay, every choice. Future you will either appreciate your decisions or struggle because of them. The money you save today grows into opportunities. The money you waste today becomes a lost chance. Schools taught us to prepare for tests rather than preparing for life. Understanding the connection between present actions and future outcomes helps adults make choices with confidence rather than fear. These are 10 essential money lessons that should have been standard education. But they were not. And that is exactly why Wild Finance exists. To explain what matters. To connect the dots. To make personal finance understandable instead of overwhelming. If you learned something today, subscribe and stay with me. We are only getting started.